Contrast Uncut, yeah, you know that's us. Where we only speak the real and the real rock with us. Where we motivate the people and politic on success. Oh no, we ain't DJ Khaled, but they swearing we the best. Contrast Uncut, contrast Uncut, contrast Uncut, contrast Uncut.
What's happening? It's Contrast Uncut. It's season 4, episode 16. Man, big shout outs to Uncle Snoops Army and Bobby D Presents. I appreciate you, brothers. It's your host, Zylo, aka DJ $1, like I won some money. Ladies and gentlemen, today we got a really incredibly dope special guest. He's from the east side of LA, Baldwin Park, California. He's an entrepreneur, fashion designer, professional mixed martial artist. He just let the cat out the bag. He's about to be a boxer. Throw that in with his other, jobs and caps that he wears. Shout out to the cap on my forehead. And also, as well as, he's a philanthropist. He's the owner of lifestyle and streetwear brand, the 86ers. The 86ers is a clothing company, and it's a brand that proudly turns the removed to the included, as well as to empowered. The 86 They embrace the outsider status and the challenge of the 86 to rise from the ashes to defeat, reborn as the 86ers. The 86ers promote awareness and sponsors boxers, MMA athletes, and professionals. Now as a fighter, this brother's a southpaw in the welterweight division. His record's 2-2. His last fight's back in December 2019. And he's keeping it going. COVID slowed him down, but it didn't slow down any of his hustles or any of his drive or creativity. If you don't know who I have on the show by now, it's all good. We got all episode to chop it up with the brilliant mind behind the 86ers.net, Freddie Colbert. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, fam. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Shout out Snoop and Bobby D. Thank you for having me, Zylo. I'm just honored to be here.
100, bro. No, I appreciate you cutting the time, throw us in a room, put all these wonderful clothing and design in front of us, and just have us bask in the fashion, bro. Because right now, putting something that represents you and that could relate to everybody is big in this world right now. And to put something that represents you that can relate to everybody is what's going on. And you've been able to do that in your short amount of time. And that right there is something to have achievement for and to be proud of. And where us as fans and people that love clothes, like when we pick up something, we grab it to see what it feels like. Yes, this catches us. When we put the stuff on, like what I got on now, this stuff feels amazing. And I'm not capping. This ain't from the script. This is just me being honest, because when I touch it, like, that's the first thing that gets me. And you already understand that. Like, people don't understand that a lot of stuff is Gildan shirts.
Yeah. Shout out Gildan's cool, but I don't wear that, or nor do I get that for everybody, because like you said, it's all about the feel and it's all about quality over quantity.
Oh yeah, no. People go out their way. They don't know that Versace is buying the shirt from a company. They're not producing their own shirt. And you have the ability to buy that same shirt and build on it and have real quality. That takes someone with real interests, real values, and understanding the whole point of why you wear what you wear.
Absolutely. And like you said, Versace, whatever, people don't even know what it means. They can't even say they don't know what it means, but they'll wear it. And to us, the 86ers mean something. And it has a meaning behind it. You know
My bad, bro, because when you said that, you right. I'm like, I've been trying to figure out how to pronounce Givenchy. What the fuck is that? But you know what? I wouldn't mind wearing it, but that's you know what? That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
We got the 86ers in front of us. And to be real, bro, this thing is hot. Hot. It has the same quality as a Versace or a Givenchy.
Yeah, we definitely went above and beyond to make sure that we got quality stuff and quality material, because that's what we're all about. Rising from the ashes and keep going up and to get something that people want to wear, and something that feels good, something that washes good, something that doesn't crack, fade, any of those things.
Values. I gotta tell you, brother, time's the most finite thing we have on this earth. So I gotta make sure you know from the jump, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming, fucking with us, fucking with the viewers, the listeners.
Thank you.
So, and just gotta give you that, and let that parlay to my question of what's a normal 24 for you?
There's not a normal 24. There's just days. They all blend together. I definitely wake up anywhere between 3 a.m. or 6 a.m. I have a 2-year-old. My baby girl Pepper, she's new to my life, and she changed it all. So she threw the curveball. So I wake up at different times, but no matter what, I spend the morning with her. I head over to the gym usually around 11 to 1, get my training in there, and then from there I head back to the office, and I stay there from about 1 to about 4, and then back to home, taking care of the family, cooking dinner, finishing up some emails, or just backtracking on my day, planning meetings, everything, and getting ready for the next one.
So being a parent, first I gotta give you a shout out for being a dedicated dad, because that right there is not easy. He lets y'all know that's already programmed into his day. That's where people got it messed up as a parent. They don't program time for their kids and program that's how you move forward. But that's here nor there. So I give you flowers for that. Most definitely. And then at the same time, it's safe to say, bro, you on the clock 20 hours a day.
All day. Yeah, all day. I don't mind it though, because there's plenty of other things you could be doing, and being a parent and working towards your dreams and working towards your goals. I mean, you shouldn't be complaining about that. So
right.
I'm not going to complain.
When you do your passion, that's something you are willing to do for free. And then when you take your passion and push it to your purpose, that's when you start to get paid for it. And then when you make your purpose something that can everyone, fall in love with, that is where you are growing with the world and the world receives it. And it's very important that we take time to put that light on that subject, because a lot of people don't understand the importance of relationships, the importance of just doing as you say and saying as you do.
Yeah, man, that's huge. It still drives me crazy to this day when some people are like, oh, let's meet at this time, and they're 10 minutes late, 30 minutes late. I'm like, man, why do you even say it? You're going to be late. It's 11 o'clock, and you're supposed to be there at 11. And you still haven't said that you're going to be late. Like you said, it's easy to be a man of your word. It's easy. It's even easier to say, hey, I'm going to be late. Communication is big. So, yeah, I like to just stick to my word and be the things that I say I'm going to be, and just keep pushing forward.
I got a quote. Let me know how this quote relates to you, or if it doesn't, the idea is I want you to talk about it. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Success seems to be largely a matter of hanging on after others have let go. William Feather.
I agree 100%. And one of the quotes I use, it's like success is like waiting in the line at Disneyland. People jump out right before then, and no matter what, life is going to continue to get tough. That's just part of life. I guarantee there's no one in the world that I woke up every day and things are great. I mean, I'm sure there's health issues, there's family issues, there's work issues, there's relationship issues. That's just part of it, part of the game. And it's how you accept it and take it in and then let it back out. You can let it control your day and your week and your month and everything, or you could accept it, try to break it down, and just keep pushing forward.
Rising above the ashes. When I saw that quote, it hit me, because I try to pick quotes that relate to you from my hunch of what I feel from what I've read or what I've seen. And this one spoke a lot to me for the simple fact that you have to be okay with waiting through the process. Enjoy the journey, because if you're not, when someone else gets out of line, you don't realize you do move up. A funny thing about how we grow up in the hood, Section 8, you get on that motherfucking waiting list years and years and years, and then you'll be surprised it comes right on time when you need that.
Yeah.
And it's just a part of the game. And how many people remove their name from that list? How many people do this, that, and the third, and you call and find out you moved down on the numbers?
Yeah.
And so that stuff means something. And for taking that analogy, if you're willing to go through that waiting list of Section 8, why aren't you going through the waiting list for scholarships? Why aren't you going through the waiting list of making something happen productive in your life? Taking that you make that bomb banana bread and selling it.
Yeah.
Taking that great idea of that shirt you made for yourself and pushing it so other people can enjoy that same purpose of, damn, I want to wear that.
Yeah, I agree that people, I think they're afraid also. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of someone not liking their banana bread or someone not liking that t-shirt. But it doesn't matter. Time's going to keep going anyways. You got it. As long as you're working hard and working on your job, sure, there's 8 hours in the day that people work, and most people work 8, 12, 15 hours. That's fine. But what do you do after that? Do you go to bed? Do you sit on the couch? Do you start eating? Do you start doing nothing at all? Do you start drinking? Do you start...
Right.
It's up to you. It's up to you.
the 86ers really represent that, you know, people that are trying to say they're in the game, but they're not in the game and not realizing that it's a mental thing. You know, you have to put yourself into the game. You came out of it, you quit, but this is where you rise above and, you know, look at that old self of you in the mirror that you were like, that's not me, and seeing yourself that what you're supposed to look like. And that's something that I really do take a lot of liking to of this brand, because there's so many different angles of just overcoming with this brand. And you are a big reflection of it because you've overcome so much yourself.
Absolutely.
So I want to ask, did the game choose you or did you choose the game?
Oh, it definitely chose me. It definitely chose me. There, like you said, there's just so many things that I've been through to get here to this point. Whereas growing up, I was an athlete, straight A student, football. I had boxes. I still have the boxes full of letters from different colleges.
You went to New Mexico, right?
I did go to New Mexico.
Running back?
I did play.
You balled.
I did. But also a part of the journey, you know, I got arrested for fighting. So that changed the route. So when that happened, I lost all my scholarships, lost everything, and then I had a choice, right? Do I just not care anymore, or do I go to junior college, reapply, and start going again? And that's what I did. So when I got a curveball, you know, I didn't give up. I went to junior college. I kept going. I got my grades straight again, and then I signed with Missouri Southern. Signed with Missouri Southern, took off again. I was back in college and working towards my goals and my dreams of being an athlete, and it was looking great. You know, I was starting over there. I was balling, like you said, and transferred to New Mexico for more playing time and more opportunities to get closer to the league, and things were going great. I ended up graduating from college, criminal justice major. I have a minor in law enforcement. I have an associate's in liberal arts. So I came home ready to live,
dig in,
to do the norm. You know what I mean? To do what society tells you to do. And you know, I got into another altercation, another fist fight, and then that hit me even harder, because then they sent me to prison this time. Not try, they sent me to prison for a fist fight. And to this day, I can't even believe it, because I'm watching people fight all the time. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah, it's world star.
Man, world star, people recording it, and I got in a fight with a person that wanted to fight. He was, you know, we were out at the club, and he bumped into me, starts arguing with me. He's like, well, let's fight. And I was like, well, let's take a walk then. I'm not about to start a scene. So we took a walk. I beat him up and he told. So I ended up getting in trouble, and that happened. After that happened, I had another choice. Do I quit and just give up, or do I stay positive and keep going towards the light and what's better and what's going to be more successful for me in life? And after that happened, you know, I got out. After I got out, my friend was doing a clothing brand, and that's what was his movement. Like, man, this is, entrepreneurs are taking over. They're doing things. They're having a better chance. I was trying to get a job. That was not happening. I was 86th.
Yeah.
86 from society because of the choices and the things that happen. I was 86. There's no one's don't matter. I have 3 degrees. None of that mattered. Don't matter if I was a college football star. Everything that I did.
They gave you an F. They put an F
on my life. Yeah, everything that led up to that.
That's
point.
a felony for those that don't know. When you see an F on your paperwork, that's a felony. Well, it won't be your paperwork because you would know.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much what happened, and you know, I was back to just working odd jobs and 9 to 5s just because I couldn't quit. You know.
Right.
So here came the 86ers.
So hold on, let me get this straight. It's crazy. The 2 things that set you down inspired you to keep the athlete going inside of you. You learn to turn that energy of I can have this high of getting into a fight, because when you get into a fight, it can become a high. I wrestled. I know personally, like I have friends that are boxers. That stuff is a high, and then it's just a level of strategy. And when you're able to recognize that that's a gift. Because I can tell you mopped them up with confidence. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't need to make you look bad in front of no one over here. Let's go around the corner. I'll leave you toe up, and I won't even baby you and pull your pants down. I'm gonna leave you right there.
Yeah.
And shit, the baby didn't get arrested. He ain't get no F.
Man, I don't even say people's names because I feel like I'm throwing them out there. But there's so many people that they're
It's
recording.
public. He put it out there. He made a video on it.
Who's the homie from the Lakers that just followed the dude down the street and whipped his ass because he said he touched his car? Someone did that recently. I mean, it's happening all the time, and you know what? I could be that person to put my head down
and blame it on everyone else instead of saying take the responsibility
I messed up.
and overcome.
Yeah, I messed up.
But it's fucked up that the reality is that you have to take that responsibility versus he's throwing himself at you and you can't prove that in court because he got his ass whooped.
No, he never showed up. So they're trying to give me 15, 20 years because
for assault?
Because I got in a fight before. So they're saying you have a prior, plus you broke his nose, that's a great bodily injury, plus your name, who you are. They try to build it up, everything, and man, we're looking at 5 years here, 3 years here, 8 years here. I was looking at like 21 years. I was telling you, I went to trial. I went to trial, went to the box. I got a hung jury. I went to trial again. We're going through it back and forth. My attorney came down and said, hey, they want to offer a deal. And do you want to take the deal and go to prison? Or do you want to fight it and maybe go home? And I was like, well, what if I lose? He said, you're looking at about 15 years. And I said, well, what if I take the deal? He said, you're looking at 2 years with halftime. You've been counting for eight months already.
So you're doing 2 months, 3 months.
I did another 8 months. So they just counted my counting time, and then they just threw me on the chain and went up. I did the whole chain, man. I couldn't believe it, bro. To this day, I can't believe it when I think back about it, man. I went to Delano. I spent a month and a half there. I went up to Tracy, spent 2 months there. They sent me down to Norco. Over here in Norco, I spent 4 months there. And even on my release date, they held me an extra 3 days just because some of my paperwork. So it's always testing me. So I just keep it cool. I keep praying. Just keep praying, keep it cool, and just leave it to God. Because if he leaves it to me, I get in trouble.
There was a saying that I got told at a young age: control what you can control and let go and let God.
Absolutely.
And I was just as bad as I will. I don't know if I had such as illustrious wins as you in fights, but at the same time, we done whooped some ass. I ain't gonna say nothing about it other than that's the past. But needless to say, the growth from what you realize then to now. And then another thing that slows us down is kids.
Yeah.
Kids slow down the way you, like someone hit my car at a gas station at the gas pump. I jumped out the car ready to snap on dude. And then I see my son trying to roll down the window and like, Dad, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And at that moment I realized like, I don't want him to be angry or someone do something. He want to fuck somebody up because that's moving the wrong way. And so I calmed myself down. The kid was crying because he hit it. He just drove his mom's car. And I would have made his day way worse.
Yeah, it went all the way back.
And that moment I was like, it slows you down, and kids do that.
Absolutely.
My son and daughter, but at the same time, they drive you up your nerves, so they use up other energy. So that
so that's got you already hot anyway. That's already got you boiling.
So would you consider your first confirmation that getting into this streetwear and lifestyle brand was working with your buddy and getting that introduction, or would you say your confirmation was further down the road when you started to craft 86ers?
I would definitely say further down the road when it started to craft 86ers and it became something else. It rose from the ashes, like you said, like they say, the phoenix rises from the ashes. And at first it was a clothing brand. We were well known in our city. We were well known. Everyone knew us, supported us. We used to go out. We used to pop bottles. We used to hang out with professional athletes. That was us. So people.
Shout out the Roll Up Show. I got my first shirt of the 86ers from the Roll Up Show.
Yeah, so we used to hang. We used to just, that was our life. We were living the life, living the fast life, living the fun life. So people wanted to wear what we were wearing. And as I grew older and as I matured, and we wanted to go to the next level where there was no more top. The clothing brand had to have a meaning that could reach everybody. And as I grew up, the meaning changed. The meaning is the 86ers. That's what everyone knows, and everyone knows to be 86 means to be kicked out. And like you said, it developed. And my whole life, I felt like I was being kicked out. I was being kicked out. No matter what, I was being kicked out, whether it's family, whether it's sports, whether something happened, and not that I was a bad person, but something was happening and I was getting kicked out. And I was being tested repeatedly. But I know what route that can go, and I know where you can end up. I've seen it. Right. But I also know the other route, and I know where that can go because I've seen it. So, again, I had a choice. So we redefined the meaning of the 86ers. It's to be kicked out for being different, for your race, for your religion, for your monetary status, your height, your weight, your whatever you are. you've been 86th at some point or another. Maybe not your whole life, but at some point or another, you felt 86th. You felt your music artist told you're not going to make it. A kid with cerebral palsy, oh, you're not going to be able to stand. A lady with breast cancer, you're not going to be able to fight it. You know, so at some point, someone's been 86. So we like to say, man, F all that. You know what I mean? We're not listening to none of that. We're hearing what you're saying, and we're going to fight back. We're going to fight back for what we believe in. We're going to fight back for what's strong, and we're going to fight back for what I believe inside. And I don't believe what you're saying. I believe what I'm saying. Yes. So that's what it is to be an 86er.
You know, I wanted to make sure we do spend time on the incredible brand that you structured and created and, you know, revamped as well. You know, that puts you guys in an outliers type of conversation. You know, you've fallen 6 times, but you rise 7. And the biggest thing for an outlier is that they recognize that they're different. They're okay with it. And then it's how do they move being outside the box. And every time I do look at this brand, that's something I always get. You know, a person that has that aspiration to overcome the defeat and rise to occasion for never giving up. And I mean, I truly commend this brand. And I don't want to spend all episode because you're very important in some of the stuff, a lot of the stuff you've been able to do. But the 86ers, to keep it real, has my support and unconquerable spirit, the determination to put fashion with flavor and quality while serving a purpose. That is the 86ers because it's fashion and purpose. And, you know, and that's just my take on it, what I see. But what are some of the things that people don't know about the brand and the involvement in the community? What's some of the other growth factors that you've been able to not only put in the seed and water in all these different communities?
So it's something that we like to do. We like to work with up-and-coming artists, models, photographers, pretty much anyone that's been 86th. We definitely do that. All of our shirts or hats, they have meanings. They have customizations behind them that they mean something. Or we worked with an athlete, or we worked with an artist, or you know, our LA County Survivor shirt. Everyone has a story that they've been to LA County and survived something. You know what I mean? There's fires, there's earthquakes, there's fights, there's everything. Every LA County is where it's at. And
Twin Towers? No, shit, I gotta talk about this now. You said LA County. You ever been to Twin Towers?
Don't recommend.
Hey, look at that wall when you go in there, because I swear to God, if you turn around, you're gonna get popped with that baton, and you're gonna be the damn example.
Yeah.
That's my memory, bro. As soon as you walk in there, everyone face the wall. Welcome to LA County, bitch. And it's like, and then they pop the person next to me, so it's like, okay, I ain't looking no more.
Yeah, you're gonna learn. They're gonna teach somebody.
Yeah.
So that's, like you said, we rise from the ashes, and we try to bring all this up to the next level, and now to the point where we work with the cerebral palsy. We haven't I don't think they're doing their Special Olympics this year, but we work with them where we do a custom shirt with their Special Olympics, and we get it out to all the athletes. Then we also will print extra shirts for them to sell, and the proceeds we'll give them back to them for they can use for their facilities or for whatever they're doing. We work with the Salvation Army. Every year around Thanksgiving or Christmas, we'll go out to the Salvation Army of Hollywood, and we feed over 300 people for the last 3 years. We fed over 300 people. We give out, I want to say, 300 to 400 T-shirts, hats, beanies. That's something that they don't know. We work with different people. We love to get out there and work with people, and a lot of those things we're not filming them because we're doing them because we want to do them. And the spread of the word, we want it to be organic.
Facts. Because that is probably the most important part. Like, you look at so much that's on advertising, billboards, commercials, social media, and they force feed that shit down your throat.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I don't want to wear that, so why do I keep on seeing it? I didn't click on anything like it. Why does it keep on being force fed to me? And that's something you have to appreciate, because how you guys were seen, you guys were organically grassrooted. You guys were doing a movement. You was doing your thing, and people was like, where do you get that from? Where can I cop that? And that's really dope. But in the same reflection, there are challenges that you have to overcome launching this brand. And so what are some of the biggest challenges you face to launch the 86ers and, you know, become what it is today?
I think the biggest challenge is continuing to get it out there, because nowadays in the entrepreneur world, everyone with a print machine, or everyone that can go to LA, or they want to buy a shirt. Yeah, they just want to buy a shirt, put the name on it, and run marketing ads, and run this and run that. Or so we're not doing that. We're like that's their biggest, I want to say, challenge, because we're working with athletes and we're working with musicians. We're working with people that are 86ers. We're not just throwing it out there because we want everyone to wear it. We want people to wear it that have a meaning. Every day people get dressed and they're putting on, you know, different shirts, different hats, different pants. Most of the time they don't know what that means. When they put their 86er hat on, their shirt on, they know that a percentage of their profit is going towards cerebral palsy, breast cancer, Salvation Army. A percentage of that profit is going towards them. Plus, you're supporting a brand that supports the community.
See, and that's really important, because each one teach one and give the ability to have something to have and hold. You're giving somebody's, you know, somebody, they haven't had a shirt in months. You're giving somebody a beanie where their ears have been, you know, damn near frostbite because of how cold it gets at night. But they still got to keep pushing. And that's something to embrace, because life is so short and you can't view other people as their struggles and defeats as a reason not to help. And not to, and I'm not saying go out there and give everybody anything, but at the same reflection, I had Hana Ali on the show, and she said Muhammad Ali used to pick up strangers and homeless people and bring them to the house and leave them there for a few days. And then his wife would try and take him back to the hotel when he'd be gone, and he'd drive back to the hotel and bring him back to the house. And that's just the energy as the greatest person alive. And, you know, to have that same thing without having the correct guidance. I grew up without a father. And, you know, my mother wasn't the best, but she always did her best to survive and provide for us. And in reflection, it's always like, we don't get those same opportunities. We don't see the Cosbys, the Brady Bunches, the what something's supposed to look like. And to have that still able to come out and translate, that's a blessing. So what do you tell aspiring fashion designers and entrepreneurs about interacting with brand ambassadors and athletes?
I think the biggest thing is that you want to have a meaning. You want to have a meaning. You want them to have a meaning. You want it to be important to each other. You want to build a relationship. Our brand ambassadors and our athletes we work with, man, I'm pretty sure I can call all of them and they'll answer. Like, what up, Freddie? How you doing? What's going on? Because I care about them as a person, not only as an ambassador. I care about what they're doing with their career. I care about what they're doing with their music. I will go visit them. I spend time with them if I can. I just, like I told you, I was with my boys Red Cup Nation last night. Just went over there, brought them some donuts. You know, just to chill in the studio with them. Just, what up, fellas? How you guys doing, man? I'm out here. I'm in the area. I'm gonna stop by and see how you guys are doing. Right. Chopped it up, and that was it. That's just things I like to do. Like you were talking about your mother, my mom's huge in my life, and I think the softer, nicer side of me is from her. Because I grew up in some bad situations, and I had to evolve to defend myself and to be a man and to grow up. But also, she was there for a good amount of my life, so I do have that in the back of my mind. The conscience is always reminding me to treat people the way you want to be treated.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest thing. I love to treat people the way I want to be treated, and I've seen a lot. So when I do see people in need, I'm like, damn, I want to help them. I'm telling you, man, I pulled over recently. I was with my dad. I picked him up. I don't see him too much. I picked him up, took him to lunch, but I seen a dude walking with no shoes on. I was like, what is going on over here? And he was like, oh, man. So I pulled over. I gave the dude the shoes from the trunk. Gave him the shoes. My dad was like, oh, those are nice. I'm like, don't trip. I'll get you some other ones. But I just felt bad for this person. I'm like, why are you barefoot like that? That's crazy. No, I didn't take pictures. No, this is the first time I'm telling anyone. My dad tells everyone. I don't tell anyone because I don't care. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because, man, if that was me, I would want someone to give me some shoes. Something happened. I don't care. It is what it is. That's his story, but he needed some shoes, and I felt it was me because I saw him.
You know what that tells me, though? You were a kid that used to do a lot of walking, and then when someone would drive by, you'd be like, man, I hope one of my people's come and pick me up. Because if I was that person driving by, I would pick them up. I could tell that's your energy because, you know, as when you grow up in these streets, like, yeah, you got family, but, you know, your folks on the streets is your family. Like, they'll look out for you. They'll give you that ride, or they'll throw you something. Like, I used to have people pay for the taxi cab just so I can get home because I wanted to be out all night, and they're like, what the fuck you doing?
This ain't for you.
Exactly. Like, but shit, I'm still trying to dive into it no matter, you know, you get.
It's part of life.
Yeah, you get enticed by it. I don't want to use the word thirsty because thirsty is not the right word. Like, but
drawn in, curious. Yeah. It's
like you got this passive aggression. It's like, well, they get to use their aggression. I got this aggression. Let me see how I get to use it. Yeah. And, you know, they teach you OGs, but they're not the same OGs from then in the 90s to what we got right now.
Yeah, there's a couple around. There's some that don't even exist. Some are just in their own world, don't even care, because technology changed the game and they're out.
Right. So speaking of technology, speaking of, you know, people being out, COVID came in and took so many people out, took so many businesses out, took so many different families and just flipped them upside down. And, you know, my question to you is, what have been some of your highs and lows that you face? And I bring up COVID because I feel COVID's been a low for so many people until they turned that into a roller coaster into a high.
So definitely, it was definitely a downhill spiral for the beginning because no one knew what it was or what to expect, and people were afraid, and people were locking their doors. Everything for the first few months, it was just it was pandemic for real. Like everyone didn't even want to talk to people. So it was definitely downhill spiral, especially because, like I said, I have a new two. She was 1.5 at the time, so it was different. I couldn't take her to the park anymore. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't take her swimming. I felt wrong. I felt like, dang, I'm being a bad dad. So that happened. That hit us with that. But then, as far as the brand and my businesses, that took the hardest hit. As far as me being an athlete, that took a hit also. I was there's no more competing for sports. That took a big hit for a long time. The brand sales slowed down, and I think mainly because we would do a lot of events. We would do a lot of meet and greets. We would do a lot of pop-ups, hip-hop shows, photo shoots, just different things to get involved with the community and get people out there. Part of that, we do catering, alcohol catering. So we would do that a lot. So people would hire us to set up the bar, bring the bartender, everything. They'll hire us. We'll come do all the catering for their event, and they wouldn't have anything to worry about that. We were working at least 3-4 days a week, to nothing. So I want to say March 3rd was probably our last event, and we had an event planned where we were locked in with the venue and different things that we had going on. We were locked in to do the K-Day Crush Groove show. We were locked in to do the Wisdom in downtown LA where they have things going on. We were locked in for everything, and then everything shut down. So now I have a warehouse full of alcohol that, you know, is waiting for events to come.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that?
Yes. Let's get these events going, man. Lavish alcohol catering. Let's make a move. So that took a big hit on that.
So, you know, so I would say those are some of the lows. What have been some of the highs for you?
I'm gonna double back to my baby. You know, that's my high. Spending time with my family is my ultimate high. I've had a tough family upbringing where there's been a lot of lows, and I've been through a lot. And you know, I lost my mom, so rest in peace. And you know, my dad, we spend time together. It's just not the ideal, like you said. Family Matters and Who's the Boss, all those shows. That was not my dad for sure. so I didn't really have that family upbringing like that. But I did want it, and now that I have my baby, that's my high. I love spending time with her. I'm able to, and then when I'm not with her, I'm able to go to the gym, and you know, the gym, that's another high for me. And it is a downtime for everything, but I don't like to see it as downtime. I like to see it as planning. So now I'm planning the next move with the brand. I'm getting Lavish, pumped up, ready to go. When it's ready to go, we're gonna be ready to go.
That's right.
I like to say I like to spend most of my time, 90% sharpening your axe, 10% chopping. You know what I mean? So right now I'm just sharpening it up. So I'm gonna be ready no matter what.
So how much does manifestation click into your growth and what you're doing?
I think all the way. You gotta keep going. You gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta make it happen.
What is one thing that people have fucked up about this streetwear lifestyle clothing line? Like running a brand, what is like the biggest thing you feel people have fucked up about trying to run a clothing brand?
Oh, it's not easy. It is fun. It's very time consuming. It's expensive. But yeah, I'm not trying to turn anyone away from it. Do it, but you definitely have to have a meaning. You have to have a passion, and it's not to make money. If you're here to make money off T-shirts, you're gonna have to figure out a different way. Because we're passionate about our brand and our meaning and who we are and what we're doing. So if you're trying to do what we're doing, I can be able to do it.
Come on. What has been your three biggest or three dopest moments like so far in the game that you know, from whether it's from throwing the lavish parties and providing alcohol or, you know, being sparring with somebody? Like, what have been your three biggest moments so far in the game?
Oh man, if I had to pick three, I don't even know if I can pick three, because as soon as you said that, I start having multiple things start rushing.
What's the first one came to your mind?
Sitting down with Evander Holyfield. Just sitting down, chopping it up with him in Vegas.
Bro, did he have his ear?
Yeah. Well, a piece of it. It was
like they didn't like put nothing on?
Yeah, it's there. It looks like an ear, but it looks like it was bit.
I'm sorry, I had to ask, but that's none of my business.
Yeah. So we were out there with the 86ers working with Amir Khan for his show, his boxing match
Shout
against
out San Francisco.
Yeah. For he had a fight coming up against Canelo, so we were out there, and I seen Holyfield, and I had mentioned the brand, and I told him about the brand, and he's like, man, I love the meaning. I love it. Sit down right here. Sat me down, and we just talked. And I told him, man, I'd love to buy you dinner. And he was like, oh yeah, tonight. And then he said, meet me back right here at this restaurant. I was like, all right. I told him, like, yo, he just told me we're gonna go to dinner. And sure enough,
he showed up.
He showed up, and
wow.
we talked, man. We talked about a lot of things, and not quitting, and not giving up, and just fighting and going what you believe in. Waking up at 4 a.m. and working out, just different things. He opened up to me, and that felt like, man, I'm on the right path. So another time, we were here in Pomona. We did an event with T.I. We did an event with Nipsey Hussle, and
rest in peace.
I was there. I'm on the stage with Nip, with T.I., with Sloan Bone. Shout out Sloan Bone. That's my boy, my family, man. I love him. But we were right there, standing on stage. Yeah. We were standing on stage, and this is happening. Another moment where I'm like, man, this is real. You know what I mean? This is happening, and I felt like I'm going in the right direction. I guess I got two more when we were doing a show with YG in Vegas. You know, we did a show with YG in Vegas, and, you know, shout out to YG. Super cool, man. He was very humbled. He's talked to me, shook my hand, he looked at me in the eyes. I respect that. A lot of artists, I meet a lot of people, a lot of artists, athletes, they don't all do that. He shook my hand, said what up, rep the hat, put the hat on, and man, I was like, damn, I can't believe he did that. It was cool. So that showed we were going the right direction.
YG's a genius. He just shut down like all
Young
of Hollywood.
Genius.
Yeah, for real. He shut down all of Hollywood. Like, I'm walking down, and I just so happened to come out, and like coming out of Hollywood and Highland, he has 20 cars.
I seen the other night, huh?
Yeah, no, I was standing there filming and shit, and yeah, it was, bruh's still got it. Like, he taking that old school ways and exposing what the people are doing wrong in the new ways.
I believe it's the age. I believe there's an age group, maybe in their, definitely my age. I want to say like 33 to like 40, 38. They're different, you know what I mean, than the younger people. Because younger than that, they're a different generation. Older than that, they're a different generation.
Facts.
But our group, like the 85 babies, 86, 87, those people, they're different. 84, all those people in that mid-80s babies are different.
Yeah, I'm an 87, so I
they're
understand.
mid-80s babies. That's what I'm saying.
I understand.
And then, you know, my last moment, I want to say we were in New York at Madison Square Garden working with Matt Matron with Bellator. Alima Leigh McFarland was there. Who else was there? AJ McKee was there. Bro, all these Bellator fighters were there. At least 5 of them were 86er gear. Hats, shirts, chilling. Matt Matron, when the fight did start, he came out. They're like, Matt Matron, he had the 86er gear on. I was standing in the Madison Square Garden like, whoa, this is the 86ers. It's happening. It's happening, yeah, the 86ers. So those are moments that definitely changed my life and made me feel that I'm going in the right direction.
One quick question. What time are we on, Keith?
We are 38 minutes.
Okay. Perfect. All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I'm gonna take a pause on the entertainment questions and digging into the history. I have 2 segments, and my first segment's my awareness segment. And this is near and dear to my heart. I'm pretty sure it's near and dear to yours. Because growing up in the hood, when them red and blue lights hit, that high beam hits the back of your neck, you hear that blurp sound, unless it's negotiated beforehand, you don't know what to do. You just gonna go through it, and you know not to say anything and just go through it. And sometimes that's the same time that people get caught up and they arrest everybody because nobody wants to take credit for something, and all type of fun things happen. And so I like to ask my guests, you know, one, when was the last time they were pulled over? And two, what's some advice they can give to someone that's interacting with the police while getting pulled over?
It's been a while since I've been pulled over, mainly because I'm more conscious to what I'm doing, and I try not to put myself in places and situations I shouldn't be. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and it is what it is, and it happens. But like I said, I try to do more to not make things like that happen because of the things I've been through, and I got priors, so they can just lock me up right away, no questions. So I try to live a little bit more cautiously, but also definitely someone who, my best recommendation is record what's going on, roll your windows down, put your hands up, and just be respectful, and you know, don't cause altercation. Who gives a shit what the next man is doing? Do you? Don't worry about, oh, he was rude and he cut. Who cares? You're the only one that's gonna get hurt. You're the only one that's gonna get in trouble. So let it go. You know what I mean? Because it's not worth it. You know, and record it. Deal with it later. But at that moment, roll your windows down. Put your hands up. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, thank you. Oh, take it. Thank you. I'll take it. Whatever. Even if it's wrong, you'll deal with it later. You're not the judge and the jury at that moment.
Right.
So.
Person with the badge and the gun got a lot to say. So
I'm telling you, as much as you want to do something, don't. You see how bad it is.
And you don't want to see the hammer come down. Because when the hammer come down with the police, that's when something fire off, and there's bullets behind that.
Yeah.
So keep it where you can have control, and you know, I 100% agree. Knowledge is power, but when you use that knowledge, it's a superpower. Especially talking to the police, knowing how to speak to them, and knowing how to just get through the situation as quickly as possible.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having a testimony and being transparent, because you're also doing something great. You slow down. He said, I'm not zooming out of traffic.
Yeah. Slow it down.
For real. All right, so my next segment is called Impulse Q&A. And I got impulse questions I wrote down prior to coming here, but I want your impulse answer right now. You don't like my question, it's all good. Just say pass. I want you to answer 3 questions. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Question
number 1. To make life easier, what is one thing you do every day that you wish was automated?
Working out.
You be swole as shit. Question number 2. What is your least favorite food?
My least favorite food is definitely going to be like a beet or something like that, a vegetable.
Okay. No, I don't like vegetables either. But then again, I'm doing this whole vegan thing.
Yeah. So I'm part-time vegan, so that's why.
That's I'm starting to go into it myself, bruh. And
so my girl's been vegan for 7 years. So shout out to her for that. But also, when I need to lose weight for my fights,
you get so much more energy.
Yeah.
But it's such a challenge because if I know what I'm eating, I don't want it. So I'd rather just me not know and just enjoy the flavors of what I think it is versus knowing that it's this, that, and yeah, fuck that.
Well, so the thing about vegan is it's only plants or vegetables. So that's why it doesn't bug me that much. And if it's cooked, it's going to have the flavor of what you season it to.
Bruh, I'm not the type of person that want to know I'm eating asparagus. I don't want to know I'm eating beets.
I'm not eating none of those.
Yeah, but
there's plenty of veggies out there.
But
you know
that
there's
shit
like
would
4,000 potatoes?
No, I didn't know that.
Something like that.
That's crazy. 4,000 potatoes.
I want to say, don't quote me. But I'm pretty sure.
Question number 3. What is one thing you hate but you wish you loved?
I can think. Let me think a little bit more into it, because if not, I'm just gonna say vegetables. Working out.
You already said that.
I can't say working out. I can't say vegetables. Something that I hate that I wish that I loved. Man, that's a tough question. I'm just gonna have to think about it.
You can pass.
Oh, but I want to answer your question. Do you have another question?
I mean, I got one come straight off the brain. I only
That's fine. 3. Let's do that one.
All right, question number 3 from the brain. If you were trapped in a third world country, what country would you be trapped in? What item are you selling to get back? And how long do you think it'll take you to get back?
Oh, Mexico. And then I would sell, food. Probably food, treats, refreshments. I'll be on my way back in a couple days, so I'm out of here.
Well, there you go there. Well, you have survived my awareness segment. You have survived my impulse Q&A. And as a reward, it's promote time. Let's promote. Let's get the viewers to tune in and support what you want them to support. I know it's easy to say 86ers, but there's just so much more to you, brother. So the floor is yours. Shout out whoever you want to shout out.
Please, like he said, man, please check us out on Instagram, the 86ers_brand. Check us out on the web, the86ers.net. Facebook, the 86ers.net. Also check out lavishalcoholcatering.com, Lavish Alcohol Catering, on Instagram, Facebook. We'll cater events. I mean, that's what I really like shouting out. I don't know. Shout out to you guys, Zylo for coming out, Snoops Army. Shout out Big Percy. Shout out Bobby D. Shout out to my business partners, my friends. I appreciate everyone, all the support. Shout out to you guys for listening, tuning in, and the support. That's the biggest thing.
Hell
I appreciate that.
Come on, you know, people get it fucked up. The biggest thing you can do for somebody is free. It's called support. Hit share, hit like, tell someone about it. That's the biggest thing you can ever do to support somebody. Everyone thinks just because you see what a professional looks like and then you see what your folks are doing and you put more money into the professional, because that is design. There's a team of people that's making you want to have that. And we need to start putting the focus on making the team of people around you want to have better for each other. And that starts with what your choices are and what you want to invest your time into. And if you haven't noticed, the show is different. It's unique. You know, they got segments over there. I don't like segments like this. I do segments my way, and it's, you know, different. And I'm like, how do I keep that same energy and close out? The viewers knows it's coming, and I'm going to hit you with it. You got any questions for me?
Questions for you. How did you get here?
Oh, I drove. We got up at like
He knows
7:30.
what I'm asking him. He knows what I'm asking him. How do you get to this point right now? And season 4, episode 16.
Bruh, it's a journey. I got told no. Keep it 100. I got told no. I couldn't join this radio station, and I had a radio show in college. No, I couldn't join as a promotion person. I'd do anything just to be in the atmosphere, and I know people that work there. Went to a different radio station, same thing, no. Let me join the podcast. No, you can't join the podcast. And I got all these connections, and I've always had this thing in me to like talk to people. Like, it's always been a gift. I appreciate my mentors. I appreciate, because I'm like an introvert, but it's crazy because I talk so much on the show. But reality is I really don't talk that much.
And me too. You got me talking.
And but that's just a level of appreciation of value of when you're speaking to. And I learned that from that brother over there when I was on his show. But shout out to KEVING, shout out to Trucker's Mind Podcast. But yeah, bro, that was the main thing for me is people told me no, I couldn't do it. And from there, I just said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. Like, I quit my job. I managed a restaurant for 7 years and made them a whole bunch of money, raised their sales 60%, and did it at 3 different locations, even to the richest part, and raised their sales 60%. I was making $15 an hour, and they were making millions. And that shit fucked me up, like, mentally.
Yeah.
It's cool building people. Like, it's cool building people. It's cool having employees working for you and appreciating and respecting you. But at some point, where is it going to kick in where you start to elevate and overcome? And then they wanted to offer me a store, and I was like, that's not me. That's not my name. That's not what I do. That's not what I represent. And I quit. And my mother-in-law told me that day as I'm like driving home, tell her I quit my job. She's like, it's the best thing that ever happened to you, her and my father-in-law. And I'm looking at them like, I'm about to cry. Like, I don't know how the hell I'm going to take care of your daughter, your grandchildren. I don't know. Like, because being a provider is huge.
Yeah,
like, I didn't have a dad. So if I could step into that role and take away that excuse I get to try and throw out there, fuck that. And that shit had me fucked up. And they were like, no, it's the best thing that ever happened to you. And then life took off. And eventually, the show, I got Bobby D. Bobby D was the first one to support me and to get behind my show and believe in what I'm doing. And that's why, no matter what goes on, I'm always going to give that brother his credit and put him apart what I'm doing, because he took a chance when no one else wanted to. He didn't know that nobody else wanted to give me a job. He didn't know nobody else wanted me to work with him. All he knew is that, damn, when he sat down, we was talking big shit. We was talking about history. We was talking about, come on, janky promoters and getting Ice Cube's backstory on it and what he was going through, and talking about his dad and like all of that stuff, like Uncle Jam's Army and Bobby C, and just that whole communication. He was like, man, I haven't done this in normally people they send me don't get me like this. And what do you need? Present my show. You present the biggest concerts, present my show.
Yeah. And
he did it. Second season, Snoop got behind it with his brand Uncle Snoop's Army, and then we've been running. And I've been blessed. We do this with no budget. We do this straight from what we are able to do. And we keep on building and building. It creates bigger opportunities, other jobs, and that is how I got here.
That's what's up. Good
But
deal.
you know I took a long ass way. I took like the 5 to the 210. And I thought Rancho Cucamonga was like way over here, but apparently I wasn't going to the right side. But that's here nor there. No, I appreciate you, brothers. Contrast Uncut is season 4, episode 16. Man, big shout outs to Uncle Snoop's Army and Bobby D Presents. I appreciate you, brothers. I wouldn't be able to do incredibly dope shit like interview Freddie Colbert and talk about his history and, you know, drop some gems along the way about the 86ers, what they represent, and how you can get your own stuff. Because you see what I got on. I'm happy, I'm juiced. And you know what? You can be happy and juiced too and cop too from the 86ers.net. Thank you, brother, for coming on the show. I appreciate you. Till the next time.
Yes. What's the deal? It's your boy Freddie with the 86ers clothing brand. I just want to give a shout out to Contrast Uncut. Shout out to Bobby D. Shout out to Uncle Snoop's Army. Thank you guys for having me on the show. Check us out, man. We're ready to make a move.
Yeah, this really remind me of some, hey, this really reminds me of some Tribe Called Quest. Hip-hop really taught me to give it all I got left. Wu-Tang taught us how to beat the projects and tell my story over beats and it could be a project. Look, how it all begun, bum, skibbity bum, yeah. Grew up on that Nas, on that L, on that pun. Old soul when I was young, crisscross, make them jump. Battle rapping for respect, my nigga, this ain't what you want. Can I kick it when I'm rhyming? Be a legend through Ebonics, was a sticker boy. Felt like sticky fingers, play that Onyx. Can I live track 8? Feel like Jigga 96, without a reasonable doubt, the album turned me into this. Shit, we always had dreams of being money making Mitch without jewelry on. Hit a jail pose.